As a consumer, you're trained to just make it rain on everybody else, right? And you got a lot of black folks that really believe that we don't have the ability to build wealth for ourselves. But what's crazy is that the other communities, we are building wealth for all of those communities. They see our value. We don't see our value, right? So, because you can't tell me that a Korean who owns a hair shop isn't looking at black people and they don't, you can tell me they don't know when our tax refund checks are coming, because that's going to be a huge stimulus package for their family. So at the end of the day, what I try to help people understand is, look, if you just take a fraction, just a tiny fraction of that money that you're spending, making it rain on everybody else, and just make sure you make it rain on your children and your grandchildren and let that money grow, then that can make a huge difference. So you don't have to change who you are. You don't have to become a miser and save every penny or anything like that. Just pick one thing. I tell them, pick one thing in your budget. Like, if you like to eat fast food, go to Popeye's Chicken and all the unhealthy stuff that people like to eat. Okay, cool, do that, but just promise yourself that you'll never spend more money on fast food than you put into your children's investment account, right? Or if you like to get your hair done every couple of weeks, if it is $50 every 2 weeks, then say to yourself, I'm gonna at least make sure that that's the same amount I put into my investment account. Or if I buy a pair of Jordans for $200, okay, go buy $200 worth of Nike stock. Because if a person had done that, like let's say every time you bought a pair of Jordans and you bought the same amount of Nike stock, if you've been doing that for 25 years, you'd have hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? Instead of having a closet full of shoes. So the economic maturity is not a matter of taking the giant steps, it's the little steps. And then what happens is the magic of time, called the biggest factor in wealth building and wealth equations is time. Mathematically, if I show you math equations that define how money grows, the most important variable is time. So all you do is you plant the basic seeds consistently over a long period of time, and next thing you know, you'll see everything change in a generation. In fact, most people in America that become millionaires, they don't get rich quick. They get rich very, very slowly. And that really is sort of anti the myths that were fed in media that, you know, you get rich because you got a record deal or an NBA contract
with a big bonus.
That stuff don't work.
Right. A Facebook friend posted this week that she had lived, and I'll not share the name to protect the guilty, but she's a prominent radio personality. I'll give some hints. But she said she had lived in the same place for 8 years, and she was getting ready to move. And in packing up and preparing to make this move, she realized what an absurdly ridiculous consumer that she had been over these years. And so much of what she had consumed, she had no use for, didn't want it. It was clutter now that she was trying to move to do this new place. And, you know, she said she got religion. She said, you know, I want to see my floors. I want to see my walls. I don't want my closet to be jammed packed and clothes falling out of them when I open it. I shared it with my wife, and we had a discussion about just how consumer-oriented we are.
Yes. And here's the thing that's interesting to me, Rock. Now, black people, we just tend to lead the pack in a lot of categories, you know, but I will say this, it's really not just us. It's really all of America. And what the reason is that corporations have science where they study all of the different ways they can trigger whatever emotion they need to trigger to get you to go buy something. You know.